Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 16 of the 2025 Wellness Challenge. So I hope everything has been going great for you so far, and today we have a stress relief yoga flow. So as most of you know, in the winter months we tend to get the winter blues and we tend to feel a little bit more down. It's quite natural, it's kind of following the energy of the seasons, and we tend to feel a lot more stressed usually. And so I talked a bit about where we store emotion on my channel, and we store them in the hips. So when we tend to feel these kinds of especially negative emotions, when we tend to feel overwhelmed, our hips tend to get very tight. And to be completely honest with you, my hips are really tight these days, and I have like a little bit of a nerve thing in my lower back, so I'm gonna take it easy today, but I'll still guide you through the whole class. And I'll try to do as much as possible with you. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. It's going to be a quick class as always, just about 10 to 15 minutes. So I try to keep it accessible for you guys. Anyways, let's get started on our back. And you're just going to bring your right knee into your chest. And you want to hug it a little bit more out towards the right shoulder. So kind of avoiding the rib cage. And now we're going to start doing some hip circles. So you can go in any kind of direction, it doesn't matter. It's just to get the hips a little bit more mobile. And then after you did a few, you can do the other direction. And before you let your right leg go, just give it one last tight squeeze in, and you can let it go. We're going to do obviously the same thing with the left leg. You're going to hug it in first, creating some pressure in the lower abdomen. This posture is great for your digestive system, by the way. And now you can start with some circles, first going in one direction, getting stuff moving around the hips. And then let's do the other direction as well. And give it one last tight squeeze in and let it go. Nice. So now we can come up into a tabletop position, all fours, and we're gonna just lift the hips back and up into a downward facing dog. So in down dog, just bend one knee at a time, move your hips as much as possible. So just keeping the hip focus of the class, moving stuff around. And now you can slowly make your way to the front of the mat in towel. Before we come all the way up, we're going to flow between halfway lift and forward fold. So on your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins, look forward, flatten out the back and pull your shoulders back. As you exhale, you can just allow your head to come down and relax. Inhale 2 more times, coming up, looking forward, and as you exhale, just look in towards your legs, relax your head down. Inhale 1 more time, and exhale to relax, allow your spine to round. And now we can slowly come all the way up, stretch your arms up towards the ceiling, and we're gonna fold straight away. Inhale for halfway lift 1 more time, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, plant your hands down on the floor and step back to plank. So to lower down, you can use your knees, or you can just shift your weight forward, keep your elbows close to your body, lower all the way down or halfway down. And you can do a cobra or an upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. And now we're just gonna go with the main flows of the class. First, you're going to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, and you're going to step the foot in between the hands. Lower the left knee down, and this is an equestrian pose, so this is just meant to open up the front of your left hip, so you should feel it there. One thing you can do to intensify the stretch is to really sink the hips down close to the right heel, and at the same time, engage the left glutes. Because when you engage the back side of a muscle that is stretching, you can stretch it a little bit better. All right, and this was preparation for lizard. So for a lizard, you're gonna move your right foot more to the right, and you're gonna lift the left knee off the floor. Now you're gonna slowly try to lower down your left elbow, maybe try to lower down your right elbow as well, and you can stay here. Or you can just stay up on your hands. But if you can, just lower down your elbows to the floor. And stay here, pause and breathe. One more deep breath in. And we're gonna slowly come up on the hands. Step your right foot back. And you can use your knees or just lower down all the way or halfway down. Keep your elbows close to your body as you lower down, and then, do your back bend. And eventually we all meet in downward facing dog. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Left leg lifts up. Step your foot in between the hands. So first we're just warming up here in this equestrian pose. You want to send your your hips, both of them close to your left heel, and engage the right glutes to really open up the front of the right hip. Try to lift your chest up any amount. And now, of course, we're going to head to lizard. You want to walk your left foot a little bit more out to the left. Lift your right knee off the floor. And maybe, just maybe, you can lower your right elbow down on the floor. If you can do that, try to lower your left elbow down as well. And try not to round your spine, so try to keep your spine as straight as possible. Maybe you can look forward. And just pause here to breathe. One more breath. And we're slowly going to come up on the hands. Step your left foot back and go through your vinyasa. When you do your backward bend, look up, keep your legs strong, and downward facing dog. From here, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Step your foot in between the hands. Pivot your left heel on the floor and come up into a warrior two. So here, you want to bend the right knee as much as possible. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Keep both of your feet grounded into the floor, so equally distributing the weight all over your feet. And from here, you're just going to straighten the right leg. Inhale to stretch forward, and you're going to bring your right hand somewhere on the inside, perhaps, of your right leg. If you can bring your whole palm flat on the floor, that's a good idea. If you have a block, you can place your hand on top of the block. That's just more support. Open up your chest. And now slowly, you're gonna come up using the upper body. You're gonna turn the right foot in and the left foot in as well. So now you can just fold over the legs. And here there's, of course, different things you can do with the hands. You can bring the hands on the floor and just try to walk them back as much as possible. Let's just stick here with the basics, keeping your hands on the floor, trying to bring the top of your head as close to the floor as possible. Just pause here to breathe. One more breath. And slowly walk your hands underneath the shoulders for a kind of halfway lift. You're going to bring your hands at your hips and slowly come up. So now without doing the vinyasa, we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So turn your left foot out, two heels in a line. Bring your arms out to the sides, really strong. Sit down as much as possible. Your shoulders should be over your hips. Your left foot should be flat on the floor, so press the little pinky toe side of your foot down and engage your left leg. Oh, sorry, your right leg, of course. Your right thigh should be really strong, so lift your kneecap up if possible. And now we're going to slowly straighten the left leg. You're going to lean forward and bring your left hand somewhere on the inside of your left foot. Your right arm is up towards the ceiling, really strong. You can look up towards the ceiling and try to stretch your hands apart. So the right arm is trying to touch the ceiling. Your left arm is down on the floor, stretching continuously down. That way you can open up the chest a little bit more. One more breath here. And as you exhale, slowly look down. You can a little bit bend the left knee and slowly come up on your next inhale. Turn your left foot in, and we're slowly gonna, again, dive forward. This time, you can choose what to do with the hands. You can maybe interlock them behind your back for a quick shoulder stretch, or you can grab the outsides of the feet and pull on your feet to really get your forehead down closer to the floor, or you can just repeat what we did. But again, we're just pausing here to breathe. And slowly bring your hands on the floor for a quick halfway lift. And then you can slowly bring your hands at your hips, coming all the way up. Let's turn forward towards the front of the mat and go through the vinyasa. So lean your body weight forward as you go down. And keep your back muscles really strong as you back bend. As you exhale, let's meet in downward facing dog. And let's slowly walk forward to the front of the mat. We have a few balancing postures left of the class, and I'm gonna turn face you for this one. So first you're gonna bring your right foot on the inside of your right thigh and bring your hands palms together in the front of the chest. So your right foot is creating some pressure on your inner left thigh, is what I meant to say. And then you wanna try to pull the right knee back as much as possible by engaging your glutes. And now from here, we're going to go straight to ego pose. So we're going to start with the arms. It's the most easy way of doing this. Bring your arms up above your head. And now you're just going to bring the right arm underneath your left arm. So you cross once at the elbows and once at the wrists. So your hands should be kind of like pretzels. And now just free up your right foot so you can bring it up and over your left leg. And now you're just going to sit down here. This posture is an excellent hip opener, actually, but it's a joint opener, so it opens up all the largest joints in the body. It's a great posture for warming up for any yoga class. Stimulate some of the balance. And change. We're just going to bring the feet together and repeat the same thing on the other side. So the left foot comes in on the inner right thigh, hands palms together in front of the chest. Now, just make sure that your left toes are pointed straight down, so they're not pointed forward. They tend to do that, especially if you have tighter hips. And again, you just try to pull your left knee back as much as possible. You can try to think about pushing your hips forward a little bit. And now we're going to go to ego from here. Bring your arms over your head. Bring your left elbow underneath your right elbow, and then just try to get your hands palms together, your thumbs towards the face. And now very slowly free up your left leg so that you can bring it up and over the right leg. At the same time, you try to sit down as much as possible. Lift your chest up the whole time. Try to even out your hips by pulling your left hip slightly back. Sit down one more time and change. Feet together. Let's make our way back into a downward facing dog. Or you can go through your vinyasa, so you can lower down, you can do your back bend, or you can meet us straight in down dog. Right, so let's get to the finishing part of class. Bring your right knee forward to the front of the mat. Now these are going to be some of your classic hip openers. We've done this in a previous class. And now you can just relax your head down. So pigeon pose is just probably the best outer hip opener posture ever. It's very simple, but it is very intense. So you're just going to have to breathe through it. Relax your body down. And now from here, let's just change and do the other side before we head to the next posture. So you can go from down dog or you can go from plank. From plank is just a little bit more compact, less movement, simpler. And then you just bring your left knee forward. You relax your head down. And let's slowly change. So you can just come to a seated position for the next one. It's going to be a very simple, easy twist. So you're going to bring your left knee down on the floor, kind of the heel of your left foot is touching the outside of your right hip. And then your right knee is pointed straight up towards the ceiling, right foot flat on the floor. Bring your left hand behind you. Your right arm can come, your right hand behind you. It's a lot of rights and lefts. And then the left hand kind of with the elbow on the outside of your right knee, with your palm just facing to the side. So this is one variation of half Lord of the Fishes. It's a simple twist, but at the same time, it is also a hip opener. And slowly change. Let's do the other side. So the right knee is on the floor. The left foot just on the outside of your right knee, and the left foot is flat on the floor. You can bring your left hand behind you and your right hand just with the palm facing to the side of the room, and you look back behind you. You try to twist as much as possible. It's a very subtle hip opening effect that this posture has, but it is still there. And change. So now we're going to go for cow face pose, if you remember this one from one of my previous videos. You're going to bring your left knee on top of the right, because we just ended up in this twist, so it's the easiest way to do it. And now you can bring your left arm up, kind of behind your head, and your right arm down. And you're going to clasp your hands behind your back. So if this is too much with the arms, you can just bring your hands down to the floor and fold forward. But if you can clasp the hands, you can go ahead and do that. If you're having your hands clasped behind your back, try to lift your chest up and keep your gaze either going forward or up, never down. And very slowly, let's let the arms go, and then we're gonna switch up the legs. So the left leg is on the floor, and then the right leg is on top of the left leg. And this time you're gonna bring the right arm up and the left arm down. If you can, clasp your hands behind your back, or if you have a t-shirt or something, you can hold on to the t-shirt. You still get the shoulder opening benefits, even if you don't clasp exactly your hands. remember to not allow your gaze to fall down. So try to keep it forward or even up. And very slowly let your arms go, let your legs go. And we're just gonna head for the final postures before Shavasana. So let's bring the right leg forward first, and then bend the left knee in. You're gonna fold over the right leg as much as possible. If you can grab your right foot, you can go ahead and grab your right foot. If you're a little bit tight, then don't worry about it. You're still getting the benefits. And slowly you can come out of it. Let's switch over onto the left side. And you're just going to fold over the left leg with your right leg kind of bent to the side. And slowly change. For the next one, we're just going to bring both legs out in front. And we're just going to fold over both of the legs. So you can maybe grab something. If you can grab your feet, your big toes, anything at all. Or you can just take a more yin approach where you just relax here. And slowly change. Now the next posture, you can try it. It's going to be an inversion. So if you can do headstand, come ahead and join me. If you can't, or if you're scared or you haven't tried it before, I'll give you some beginner options and then we can build up towards headstand. So the first option would be bring your forehead, or rather the top of your head down on the floor, your palms facing down, and then you lift your hips up. So this is a kind of variation of rabbit pose where you're getting used to having weight on the top of your head, and you can just keep it here. So this is the number one beginner thing you can do. The next thing would be, I think the easiest for me starting out was the tripod headstand. So you just kind of make exactly a tripod with your head and with your hands. And then you lift your kind of hips up and you walk your knees in. And if you can bring your knees on top of the arms, you have a very good kind of chance that you can then lift your legs up. Otherwise, you can do the traditional headstand, which is you grab the opposite elbow, you make a helmet for your head, just like this. Then you place your head where your hands are. And then again, you lift your hips up, you walk your legs in, maybe you split the legs. That's probably the easiest thing to start out with. And then you can bring your legs eventually together. So obviously it's easier to practice this against the wall, especially in the beginning. But if you can do headstand, just go ahead. So whatever variation you're trying out, let's take 3 more breaths. And let's slowly come down to the floor. So wherever you are, just find a quick child's pose, just to allow the pressure and the head to kind of even out. And let's slowly then turn around on the back. And the last posture before the Shavasana is gonna be a quick happy baby. Just grab the outsides of your feet. It's a very nice, gentle hamstring and hip opener. I like to sometimes rock side to side. It feels like a nice little massage for my back. And eventually you're just gonna relax your legs down, relax your arms down. I'll stay here with you in Shavasana for a few minutes. So just try to relax as much as possible. So I hope that you enjoy this class. I hope that your hips feel nice and open. I hope that you were able to relieve some stress. Keep practicing yoga, try to do something every day, whether it's, just taking a walk, moving your body, but use your body. You can repeat any of the previous yoga classes that were part of the challenge. This is a great one for your hips. So yeah, have a great rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.